Welcome in. Thanks for joining us for the WHHI Daily News, where we strive to bring you more Lowcountry news more often. I'm Bob Stevens. Lawyers from state government will have to, or get to, depending on your opinion, argue a case at the U.S. Supreme Court in the coming session, defending the state's efforts to cut off Planned Parenthood's access to money for family planning services. Planned Parenthood sued the state 6 years ago after Governor McMaster cut off the organization's access to Medicaid funding for abortions. The two sides are arguing a 1985 law that required reimbursement for services from any provider. Now, the U.S. Supreme Court has announced it will hear the case that could have huge ramifications in other states as well. The state's been winning recent cases filed in South Carolina, upholding its 6-week ban on abortions, but Planned Parenthood has won cases up the judicial ladder on the use of Medicaid funding. Could be a long next few days for 1st District Congressperson Nancy Mace. With the government shutdown looming, she's been, of course, in the center of a couple of political firestorms since returning to office, but has quietly made a couple of votes with a lot less controversy. She voted with the majority to pass the first major budget bill of the lame duck session, the National Defense Authorization Act, which needed a 2/3 majority under House rules to expedite that vote, and a bill to officially make the American bald eagle America's national bird, skated through on a voice vote with no objections, just as it had in the Senate last fall. Believe it or not, the eagle was not the national bird. Nothing was at the time. Rare to see such bipartisan support for anything in Congress these days. We all know that home values have skyrocketed the last few years here in the Lowcountry. New census data shows values have jumped nearly 22% in a 5-year period between 2018 and 2023. And the median Beaufort County home, half higher, half lower, has gone from just under $250,000 to over $303,000. While South Carolina led the nation in population growth percentage this past year, it was even 5th in total population growth, behind only the much larger Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, and Texas. A traffic problem in the Laurel Bay area of Beaufort is going to be tackled with the same solution that's been used south of the Broad for many years now, a roundabout at the intersection of Laurel Bay Road and Stanley Farm Road. That is expected to begin construction early next year and be completed in about 18 months. The intersection has witnessed 19 crashes in the last 4 years, most of which could have been prevented with a traffic circle rather than stop signs. The State Department of Transportation says roundabouts can reduce total crashes by 60% and injuries by 80%. And you want to start a holiday debate? Which city in South Carolina is the largest? Depends on how you measure them. Population inside the city limits would rank Charleston first, Columbia second, and Greenville a surprising 6th because it has not annexed as much land recently as other large cities. But if you rank the cities by their entire metro areas, Greenville is the largest, with Columbia second, just barely larger than Charleston and North Charleston. A third measurement, called urban centers, that put growth suburbs together with the center cities, has Charleston as the state's largest urban area. Columbia is second, and Greenville is third. For more details on these stories and other Lowcountry news, we invite you to visit the sources listed on your screen. Plenty more to come in the WHHI Daily News. Coming up next, 14th District Solicitor Duffy Stone joins us to tell us what he's been up to late on in this year and maybe some plans ahead for 2025. Stay with us.